Toyota Hilux is not the most popular pickup truck in Ukraine. It is important for you to take care of the Mitsubishi L200 or the Volkswagen Amarok. For example, there are many reasons why the Hilux itself is among the least problematic and not obtrusive in service. Chisoc, the debut of the SUMP generation of Toyota Hilux was in 2004. The model was tested on the IMV platform with a spar frame in the base, and it took away the last generation of the pickup, as well as the Fortuner Poshliahoviki. Sami Hilux was vibrated at many factories, and at the first and main factory near Thailand. Talk about the camp of the body of a viable pickup truck without a head, it's too rich to lie in the scenario of exploitation. Hilux has no native ailments, but LFP is not the most common, but deep rusts through the spread of TSNP. Typically, let's go ahead and change the thresholds, the bottoms of the doors, the edges of the arches and the hood here. Obviously, relevant, but with an amendment for those that stench can be repeatedly refurbovanized not through a century, but through mechanical failure. On working and Poshliahovi cars, the cab will be sing-songly refurbished, and the body for repair will be called Pidvaryuchi and anti-corrosive coating the lower part. The middle section of the body is also to be deposited in the form of the one that was taken to the new one. Vardo is less likely to lie that the insert is closed. It's not an insane plus, under it, water is accumulated. Because of the presence of physical problems under plastic, they can be corrosive. Understanding, when buying a Vardo, check the number of frames. Without re-registering the car, you won't see it. The frame itself is also actively rusting, especially at the rear part, but it is rare to reach serious rot on the right. The best option is a car with a full body, well trimmed from below. Suspenders at the pickup are typically vintage, double in front and inconsistent mist on the springs in the back. Servicing and repairs here are not only clumsy, but also inexpensive, leading to a wide range of non-original spare parts. Before that, both the upper and lower pillar supports can be repressed, and the stench can also be sold for sale. Well, as for silent blocks, there is nothing to say. With shock absorbers the same problems. And more Miniati there is practically nothing. Heba bearings, yacked as in assortment. Nafti Yaxcho on the right to the right until Lamina Risori. Yakto sit actively Ertsavut. Instead of an expensive original, you can choose an analog. Galma at Hilux also has absolutely no problems, double piston disc mechanisms with a floating brace in front and uncontested drums in the back. The diameter of the front storage discs is 297 or 319 mm. If the front braces are not skewed through the souring and piping, the galvanized main lines, and the back Galma are correct, then the stains on the morning will be minimal. The handbrake here is also simple, rope, and you can turn it over at once with the robot of the rear GOMS. The steering control is also simple, with a great hydropower and a stable resource for the mind. Replace olives at least once for 50 to 60,000 kilometers. The GPK pump here is unified with other Toyota low-profile brands, so the range of analogs is wide, no matter how Gaminet's gearbox type time to D the gun. A young 2.5-liter diesel engine was seen with a 5-speed mechanics, and an older 3-liter engine, an automatic with the same 5 steps. With the mechanical gearbox of the R family, R156/R151F/R156F, everything was clear. Change the olive and won't cover your 250 to 300,000 kilometers. Call for more interest, call the resource of the machine, and Wintez do not move. The Ison A750F gearbox can have a reputation for being even more successful and successfully serve 250 to 300 and more than 1,000 kilometers on Poshliahoviks on the Land Cruiser 200 and Sequoia. The blocking of the hydro transformer here works in the lag mode, the operating temperature is acceptable for standard cooling, and the torque reserve with a 3-liter diesel engine is still lacking. Of course, the replacement of olive leather 50 to 60,000 kilometers in the box is necessary, so when buying a Vardo, specify the frequency of maintenance. In an extreme case, the automatic can not only be repaired, but also remembered for contract, since the box is not young and as popular. Motors, as it was already said, were propelled by two turbo diesels for 2.5 and 3 liters of exhaustion 144 and 172 ks obviously. The younger one is 2 kdf-TV, and the older one is 1 kdf-TV. Tubto engines of the same family, wanting to be blown by the diameter of the cylinder and the stroke of the piston. In the heat of the moment, there are no problems with motors, but the stench is sensitive to the point of being burned, and hot equipment is expensive here. Dadamo put the turbine, as early as possible we need a penny, and we take a small sum for potential repairs. Vermont M, similar problems are typical for any kind of turbo diesel, to that it is not possible to get it too expensive to repair.